No, he was talking about, last year's game. Obviously it was closer than it needed to be. We had a lot of turnovers in the red zone, didn't play great on offense the entire game, and we left some doubt. And so even though we won the game, we still didn't feel like we had the respect that we deserved coming out of that game. And rightfully so. When you turn the ball over, you give Lamar 105 snaps. So we just had challenged the team to go out and play a complete game, complement each other, and leave no doubt if we're the better team, let's make sure when we walk off the field, everybody knows that.
Coach, your running backs all ran real well on Saturday, and Adam Troy's broke a late run. Is it beneficial in some way to be able to rotate a bunch of backs and have fresh legs as opposed to just having one featured back like Wayne was?
It's a learning experience for me. Obviously, you had a comfort zone when you had Wayne. Obviously, you knew what you were going to get most of the time. But now having four guys that can go in, and three of them that could be the starting tailback, and then obviously you got a young guy that's still learning, but is very, very dynamic. So, it's a good problem to have. Pleased with all of their play. What I like is that when one comes out and another one comes in, you don't see a drop off in play. And so those guys are pushing each other, and obviously it's a situation where all those guys can be in there and function in all situations, with the exception of Travis, still learning. But it's a good problem to have.
In the back of your mind, did you kind of maybe expect one guy to have separated by now, or did you figure it was going to be this bunched up kind of battle?
I've left that up to those guys, and I told them that it's up to you. If you guys want to separate when you get your opportunities, you make the most of it. But definitely pleased with all of their play. Really pleased with how Taven ran the ball. I think we're starting to see that he's really feeling comfortable in his size and his body. He made some runs that that really showed that he's really trying to listen to what I'm telling him to do. And then you obviously saw Travis get in there and pop a big play. Choice found a big play, and CJ's been steady since the beginning. So it's really going to be up to them, and it's a week-to-week deal. We got three guys in there that we feel like can be the starting tailback, and everything's going to matter. The way they perform in meetings, the way they prepare, the way they practice, and it's not a right for any one of them to run out there first, but they're going to earn it. And the guy who does the things the best throughout the course of the week is going to be the guy that runs out there first.
How did Tavian? You said you wanted to watch him on film. How did he look on film to you, and some things maybe that you still want to see him do better?
Running the football, I really challenged Taven. He's the biggest guy we got in the room. Obviously, we all know how fast that he is coming out of high school, but now you see he's starting to drop his pads. He ran through some tackles. His eyes were talking to his feet very, very well. He made some cuts between the tackles and was starting to see things develop, and then obviously had an opportunity to break a play for about 26 yards. The areas to improve is just without the ball. In pass protection, there was one situation where we gave up a sack. I think it was on 3rd and 6, and took us out of field goal range where, he's targeted on the right guy. His technique wasn't where it needed to be. He went a little bit low on the cut block. Probably a guy that has more opportunities, with a little bit more experience, would face that guy up because he wasn't rushing with a full head of steam. He was kind of, jacking around in the hole. But those are just things without the ball is where I want to see Taven improve.
I know you said Travis maybe in the Auburn game you guys weren't ready to throw him in there yet. Are you comfortable? Have you seen enough now that you want to give him opportunities early in games if it arises?
Definitely with the ball, he's very, very dynamic. I think everybody sees just how electric he is, but what people don't realize is the play that he broke for a touchdown, he was supposed to hit in the A-gap. And he's fast enough to bounce it to the outside, and then he broke a tackle. I'm glad he broke that tackle because that was one of those situations. He came on the bus. He's like, "Coach, I know you're going to get on me. I was supposed to be inside," but that's just his one. He's one of the few that has that ability to do that. But then also he's learning. So I understand now that he's processing it. He's a lot more comfortable in practice, and so he's a guy that I think that can impact the game. And as he gets more experience, more opportunities, and I got to do a better job of finding those opportunities. But it's hard when you got four guys that are all deserving. But it's a good problem to have as well.
Herbstreit said on the telecast that he had 6 touchdown runs of 80 yards or more against that defense in scrimmages during this thing. Can you confirm that? And then was those some of the same things he was doing even on those runs?
He said Jeff Scott
Right. Jeff Scott said that.
Talking about during fall
camp.
during camp. Oh yeah, and I think I said it before in talking to you guys. That's the most big runs that I've seen in a fall camp. Since I've been here all the way through from Ellington through Gallman, and it's just very similar. The kid is very, very natural. His eyes talk extremely well to his feet. He can make full speed cuts. He anticipates, and then once he gets into the open field, you saw it on national TV that he's very, very hard to catch. And so, the biggest thing is just getting him to understand the difference in the run schemes. When can he freelance? When does he need to play within the system to allow plays to develop to get to the next level so he can use his speed? But definitely saw that in fall camp, and he's a guy that when he touches the ball, anything's liable to happen.
Tony, you probably had some good feelings coming into the season, obviously, about what the new guys on offense would be able to do 3 weeks in, especially these past 2 weeks. Have they exceeded your expectations? Are they right on par? Or, how do you assess what's going on?
You know, I think that coming into it, we knew we had an opportunity to kind of pick up where we left off. Obviously, we had the questions on Kelly, how is he going to perform under the lights, and I think he's exceeded a lot of expectations, and he's continuing to get better. And then, you know, you had the question at center, how was Falcinelli going to step in there? And to go on the road, that proved a lot to us as a coaching staff, to see those guys go on the road in their first road test, a top 25 matchup, you know, crowd noise, and we didn't have any issues from a procedure standpoint until late in the game. And obviously, that was when we started to sub some guys out. So very, very pleased with just the focus and the determination and the hunger that this unit has. You know, obviously, we had a comfort level with the guys last year, but these guys here, they're all hungry. They all got something to prove, and you're starting to see that in their play.
Do you think that's going to remain throughout the season now that these two big games are behind us? Is it now going to remain throughout the season?
You know, I would like to think so. Just the quality of young men that we have, the character that they have, just the fundamentals of our program, that we earn everything. Everything is nothing's entitled. Everything's earned. The way they have to earn it every day in practice, the competition that we have, and the other thing too that I want to point out is about our guys is just you see a genuine appreciation at all levels. You know, you saw the starters happy for the backups when they got there, and they're pushing each other on. And in particular, in the running back room, you got 4 highly talented guys, and they all want an opportunity to touch the ball, but they all appreciate when their teammate gets an opportunity to play. So I'm hoping that chemistry, that cohesion, and that hunger will remain the entire season.
I was going to ask you about Falcinelli going in his first road start, but also, Christian, when you said that at right tackle, Pollard and Ankrum bounced back well. Pollard gave up a sack, was rated really high. What was your assessment of those guys?
You know, I thought they responded. Definitely, they were challenged coming out of the Auburn game, and obviously Pollard did. And it was more a situation of fundamentals. He just overset, and the guy beat him inside. But you know, those guys are going to battle. They got a lot of pride. They both want to play. You know, they're still young guys. Experience is going to be something that they gain over time. But really pleased with how they responded. Still, we have to work offensively to keep our whole quarterback from getting hit. And that's the one thing that was negative coming out of the game is we had 6 tackles for loss, 4 sacks, 2 in the run game, and then we got the quarterback hit too much.
Was Saturday the first time that y'all used Travis and Tavian on kickoff back there together? And you think we could see more of that?
Yeah, that was the first time coach. You know, that's a situation where coach is just trying to get guys in position to have an opportunity and make plays. And you know, he decided that's something that Travis can do. You know, where he's at right now to help the team. And as he grows, he'll get more opportunities at running back. But that was a situation. And then Taven too is a guy that anytime he touches the ball. So having both of those guys, you know, they got to pick where they want to kick the ball.
Tony, when Kelly has a game like he had on Saturday, obviously his profile nationally goes up. How do you think he'll be in handling that kind of attention? Is he like another Deshaun where he just kind of brushes it off and lets it go, or is
I anticipate that he'll brush it off and he'll continue because he's a competitor. You know, he's just like Deshaun. He's his biggest critic. He's going to be harder on himself than we are. And you see he had opportunities, even though he played good. He still missed a couple balls on the sprint outs. He was high. A couple throwback screens. He was high. And the one thing about him is he's got that calm demeanor about himself. And he's very, very humble. And again, I don't think Kelly's the type of young man that cares about what the spotlight says. He cares about this team. He cares about this offense. And you can tell by the way that he's playing because he's doing a good job of protecting the ball. He's playing well within the system. And so I anticipate that whatever's said outside of the walls is not going to matter to him. He's focused on what we do here on this practice field and in the games to help this team win.
What have you seen from Boston College on film so far? Last 4 years they've been really tough defensively, especially up front.
Yeah, don't let the record fool you, and don't let the stats from last week. You know, it kind of got out of hand in the second half, but they're very, very fundamentally sound. They play hard on defense. They challenge you. They play man coverage. They're going to stop the run. They're very, very difficult to move inside. They got one of the best defensive ends, not just in the league, but in the entire country. I think he had over 16 sacks, and he's picked up where he left off. So they're going to be a challenge for us. Obviously, people are going to look at our last game, their last game, and the records, but you got to throw all that out. These guys are coming to win. They're going to battle us. They're hard-nosed. They're physical inside. They're built around stopping the run. So it's going to be a good challenge for us offensively.
Any explanation as to why you guys haven't been more dynamic in the return game? They went through the years, obviously, of Ford, Spiller, Watkins. You guys recruited at such a high level, but really haven't had a game breaker, it seems like, back there in a while, or somebody that's broken a long time.
Right. You know, it's difficult. I think that coverage units have changed a little bit over time. I think, you know, kickers are putting the ball, you know, they're more specialized. They're putting the ball in different spots. They're kicking away from you sometimes. The hang time, you know, guys are getting down on you. They're twisting up front. And it's just difficult to drop back and pick everybody off. And then again, too, you know, you just got to have that guy that has that mentality, too. And I think over the years that it's become more of a possession type of mentality sometimes in the return game, especially in punt return. But hopefully with Travis and Taven back there and just more confidence up front with those guys and opportunities, and each week it's a different challenge. You're constantly scheming it up. I think before people just kind of, relied on the fact that kicking the ball deep and your guys were going to go tackle them. Now they're doing a lot more from a twist standpoint and getting guys running free.
Is Travis still comfortable? I think he bobbled a couple, but you still guys still comfortable with him back there?
Oh, definitely, and he's a guy. He's just going to get better over time. And the biggest thing with Travis is such a good young man, such a likable young man. He gets nervous. He's a pleaser. He wants to be right. I think as he gets more experience, you'll see him, and he's got good hands. He can catch the ball. I think just like in the first game when we handed off to him, he tripped over his own foot, and then the next play he goes about 70. So biggest thing with him is just getting comfortable, catching the ball, and you saw even though he bobbled one, I think he picked it up and still beat everybody for 25 yards. So just over time, as he gets experience, he'll settle down. I think you're going to see some more dynamic plays out of him on return game.
With his run and the deep pass array rate, I think you guys had two of the longest plays since 2013. Do you feel like this offense is maybe more explosive or just as explosive even with what you lost?
I would say so, but for us, we pride ourselves on doing whatever it takes to win. Obviously we have components to be explosive. We also have to have situations and the mentality that we got to drive the field and sustain drives. And so, I think that our guys are geared into understanding the plan and doing whatever it takes to win. It's good to be dynamic and be able to have explosive plays, but then also there's going to be situations where we need to put together drives. And again, that's where the rhythm comes into play and in the preparation.
Going back to Travis real quick, I don't know if you played at all against Auburn. Is there something that you saw during the week that you thought, okay, this guy's ready, even though we're going into our first pro game, tough environment, to put him in that situation on the kickoff, and then even after the muff to put him in again?
I think